All right, today we're going to be talking about one of the most important things for you to know. Texting an ex for the first time after the no contact rule. You see, we teach things a little bit different on this YouTube channel and on my website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com. Rather than just texting an ex for the first time after a breakup, we recommend a period of no contact, where you're basically ignoring them on purpose for anywhere between 21 to 45 days. That means you're not going to be texting your ex at all until that no contact period is over. But how do you text an ex once that no contact period is over? What do you say? What is your goal? Well, that's what this video is going to answer for you. Now, before we get to the nitty-gritty details, the first thing that you need to learn is figuring out if you have even a chance of getting your ex back. It's the most asked question that I get, and I've been asked it so much that I actually put together a special quiz on my website that is determined to help you understand what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back. So if you want to take that quiz and figure out your overall chances, all you have to do is do a simple task. Look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on the link you see there. It will take you directly to the quiz where you can get the answer and figure out where you should be going on your journey. All right, let's start off by tackling one of the biggest questions there is. What is your overall goal when it comes to texting your ex after the no contact rule? Now, a lot of people like to make a little too much out of the goal here. They try to immediately win their ex back or get into a fight with their ex. I'm kind of a simple guy, especially when it comes to teaching other people. I like to keep it very simple so that you're not trying to do too much too soon. So your goal in this particular instance is nothing more than to have a positive interaction with your ex. Sounds easy, right? I mean, you've had multiple positive interactions throughout the relationship with your ex, but it's a little more difficult in this circumstance, especially if you've implemented a no contact rule where you've ignored them for anywhere between 21 to 45 days. They tend to be a little sore about that fact. So how do you handle the interaction? What do you say? Well, you're going to be using a special acronym. One I like to call the H.I.D.E method. Yes, H.I.D.E, hide. You're going to be using the H.I.D.E method, and it's going to, if you follow it to a T, help you have that positive interaction that you're needing or is your goal after the no contact rule when you're texting your ex for the very first time. All right, let's dissect the H.I.D.E method. H, the hook. One of the more difficult aspects that women tend to struggle with when they're texting someone is figuring out what to say. Oftentimes they'll use the generic "hey" or "what's up." Something like that tends to not get an ex's attention, especially if you've used the no contact rule. You see, it's all about hooking their interest, and you're going to do that with a pretty simple concept that we like to call the pattern interrupt. Now, a pattern interrupt is anything that interrupts a normal pattern. Your ex is almost expecting you to reach out to them and say, "Hey, what's up?" eventually. But you're not going to do that. You're going to interrupt the pattern. Your goal is to send a text message to your ex, have him look at the text message and do a double take because it's so interesting he just has to respond. Well, how do you do that? Well, you need to say something interesting and shocking at the same time. Well, here's a few of the best examples. You're not going to believe what just happened to me. I have a confession to make. I have a problem and only trust you to help me solve it. These are all great examples of hooks, ways that you can capture someone's attention. But there's more to having a positive interaction with your ex than simply getting a response. That's where the I comes into play. I, cultivate your ex's interests. If you've watched my YouTube channel, then you've probably heard me say what I'm about to say a million times. One of the biggest issues that I see with people who are texting is that they tend to text their ex about things that they are interested in and not things that their ex is actually interested in. There's nothing that can kill a conversation faster than talking to an ex about something he doesn't care about. Remember, your goal is to have a positive interaction with your ex for the first time after the no contact rule. And one of the best ways that you can do that is by cultivating an interest of his and working it into your hook. There's a nice synergy between the H.I.D.E method. Everything is supposed to work and is interconnected to help you get that positive interaction. So let's look at how you can do that. Let's say that your ex is obsessed with a certain author and the books that this author writes. Let's also say that you did not care at all about the books this author writes or the author in general. You know about it because your ex just wouldn't shut up when you were in a relationship together. Now, you've also used the I have a confession to make text, meaning you literally texted your ex, I have a confession to make. This is that pattern interrupt, that hook. Something that's so intriguing your ex just has to respond to find out an answer. But where's the payoff? Well, the payoff comes in your ex's interests. So let's say that this author is your ex's interest and you happen to read one of his books. So the conversation would go something like this. I have a confession to make. Your ex responds, what is it? You respond, I finally got around to reading your favorite author. Those books are absolutely amazing. Now you've got your ex really hooked into a conversation. So what are you supposed to do next? Technically speaking, it's not been a great positive interaction until your ex feels satisfied with the conversation. So how do we make that happen? Well, that's where the D part of H.I.D.E comes into play. D. Develop the conversation. So you've just texted your ex about his favorite book and the author and the fact that you read the book. Well, now it's time to bond over that experience. You talk about moments of the book, moments that you just can't get out of your head because it was so awesome, even if you really didn't care and you just read the book for your ex. The point is, you need to seem excited and he needs to try to match that excitement. One of the things I would actually recommend for you to do is actually check out some of your favorite stories on Reddit. What's interesting is Reddit has these certain subs that gets created by fans of Harry Potter, for example. Look at how rabid the fan bases are and talk about specific moments in the book. If you can bond with your ex like the fans in those Reddit threads bond over the moments in the book, it's going to develop the conversation into something that he's going to remember and be satisfied by. But all good things must come to an end. One of the biggest issues we see with clients who actually get this far into the H.I.D.E method and get that positive interaction is they have a tendency to overstay their welcome. So that's where the E part of H.I.D.E comes into play. E, end the conversation. Yes, you must end the conversation, and you have to do it. You have to do it at a point where you and your ex are having a good conversation, a positive, satisfying part of the conversation. Now, why is that? Well, if you really think about it, remember, there is such a thing as the peak end rule, where people remember experiences based on 2 points, the peak and the end. So by ending the conversation at the peak of the conversation, you're going to get the maximum benefit. But what's a great way to end a conversation? Should you just abruptly end it and stop responding? Well, yes, that's one way that you can do it, but probably a better and sort of more mature way of ending a conversation is having something suddenly happen that makes you need to leave the conversation. Something like, oh, I forgot to feed my dog. I can't believe this, I need to go. Something like that, or even something work related where, oh my God, I'm getting called back into a meeting, I need to go. Those type of ways of ending a conversation can be a little bit more mature, but if you want to go all out, just end the conversation by not responding. Hey, thank you so much for getting to the end of the video. Hopefully you really enjoyed the H.I.D.E method. Now again, if you haven't already, make sure you figure out if you're even in a situation that has a chance of succeeding in getting your ex back. Now, all you gotta do if you wanna figure that out is simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on that link to take my ex recovery chances quiz. Again, if you haven't already, make sure you please subscribe to our channel. Click the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can get updates anytime I come out with new videos. I'll see you guys next time.